Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So another day down. It is Thursday, and we're seeing mixed markets. What I mean by mixed markets, different sectors are taking different turns, and we're basically moving right along. We've been focusing lately on the S&P and the spiders, S&P cash, to play catch up to the Dow, to the Russell, to some of the materials, and there's been a nice methodical move as that has moved back towards highs. And in the meantime, we've seen a bounce in tech, and we've also seen a little wishy-washy activity elsewhere, but things to do. So let's just get right to it. Here you go. This is the chart. This is your S&P cash. S&P cash, boom. Here's your descending trend line. Here is your consolidation. Remember the consolidation that we've seen? Okay, from there, we were trying to position. I think if you've been on the virtual trade floor, you've seen me long the spiders pretty much from this day, and we've been listing this chart every single day. Here you had a little bit of a breakout to add. Your NR7 day that we talked about yesterday, narrow range bar, and then today a little push above. I'm like, look at this. What a coinky dink. Here we are almost at highs of the year. So we pretty much tried to give you guys a methodical way to participate using a tier system, and so far so good. We'll see what happens tomorrow. In the meantime, a disappointing thing was the XLE today. I'm not sure why, but basically I was in it, and you had a red dog reversal. I tweeted it early, told Redler All Access I got out. You push through 72.14, go up as high as 72.39, come back below. It's a sell signal. Sometimes it goes down a little, fakes you out, comes back above. Sometimes it goes down and continues lower, and that's what this did. So thank goodness we got out of this early, and at this point now it's a wait and see. If you play something for momentum, you only stay in there if momentum stays in there. And you know what? Momentum did not stay in there, and it sold off. So with that being said, it is what it is. See what's next. At this point, it's still fine. It's above the 8-day. It's above where it was at the lower end of the range, but wasn't a breakout type trade. Some other sectors, acted better. We were looking at the IWM. Not a blockbuster move, but did trade above this 130, went as high as 130, 83. Tried to do what the XLE did, but couldn't. It was still strong. Now we'll see what's next. Overall, little consolidation, bit of a push, nothing to write home about. And here's your 8-day moving average, but it held in there. Look at some of the banks. We'll go to some names. JP Morgan, still hanging around here. Okay, letting the 8-day catch up, which is good. Okay, here was your breakout trade. Actually, here was your breakout trade. But anyway, you never want to feel like you're chasing. At this point, it's consolidating. 8 days catching up. Let's see what Bank of America is doing real quick. Bank of America, stronger. Wow, right near highs. So we'll see what happens there next. 8 days catching up, but it's not waiting. So we'll see what's next. I told you I think that according to go to the monthly chart, I think this thing is going to be 24 to 28 next year. And why do I say that? Look at the size of the space, just starting to break out. Could definitely see a move into this spot, in my humble opinion. We've done very well with this in my community. Ever since $8, you can Google Scott Redler, Bloomberg, talking about buying the banks, and that was when it was at $8 down here. Look, remember that? That was very nice. This was a clean move, and then it's been a little wishy-washy, and now it's broken above this, and I think that's next. We shall see. That's a long time ahead, but for now, today it's holding in better than some of the other banks, so we shall see. In high beta tech land, it's mixed. It's hard to trust. We'll see what happens. Yesterday, I was long Apple. I came in long today. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Got out of it a little early. If you look real close at Apple now, still looks okay. He had a nice little move here yesterday. Cleared this pivot. Let me get my little trusty pen. Okay, boom. Cleared this pivot. Came up. Held the top third. Still looks okay. Towards the end of the day, I got back a little bit long Apple, thinking that maybe it gets up to the 21-day. Holding it okay. Google, had 3 up days. At this point, I don't think that, it's that interesting. But 1, 2, 3. Maybe it sees a 200-day. I mean, a 21-day. If it happens to open up here tomorrow, maybe it's a sell. You've had 3 up days. Amazon also is stronger. Same type of thing. Still not, you shouldn't be going home excessively long it, thinking Amazon's back. all in all, it's like a reflex rally to burn off the oversold condition. And this spot could be some decent resistance. So if you're long overnight, it was kind of strong today, but don't get caught falling asleep behind the wheel just in case. Netflix was weaker. I tried it in the morning. Didn't work out well at all. Still, tried to break above this. Couldn't. So we'll see what happens here next. This is your support. I thought Facebook was interesting. Facebook had every reason to go down yesterday, and it didn't. Still somewhat broken. I am long this overnight. It has a slower pivot for some reason. I'm thinking, it's going to do something there and try and retest it. Maybe that's $1 higher for tomorrow. A lot of options were higher, so there could be a trade there. We'll see what happens. But overall, this looks okay for a bounce. The bad news was bought. Today was kind of strong, so we'll see what happens here tomorrow. Tesla, I'm not sure. They're voting on whether or not they could take over Solar City. I kind of think that everyone knows they're going to take it over. I don't think people are expecting all of a sudden they're not going to do it. But stronger day. I took home some. I think someone buzzed me that it's down, which kind of sucks. But let's see here. Hold on. Tesla. Oh, it's only down 64 cents. No big deal. It's priced in, I think. All right, that's good. I looked before. Someone's like, Tesla's down $3. Oh, my goodness, what are you going to do, Red Dog? Well, I'm glad it's only down 64 cents now. So I kind of think it's priced in. Let's go back to the chart. We'll see if it could continue its bounce tomorrow. We'll see. What else? Red diggity dog. Oil. Disappointment. Another Red Dog reversal to the downside. What do we mean by Red Dog reversal to the downside? First, you had this to the upside right here. Okay. Then came into the 21-day. Couldn't break above. Went red, so got out when it basically came back below this. Saved yourself some pain. Now we'll see whether or not it comes into the gap. Still a broken sector below the moving averages. Here was a nice tradable bounce. Buy, hold the third, sell some, try and stick with some, and now it's, we'll see what happens here next. It's not that compelling. Some of the new issues that we talked about, good lower level trades, but after 2-3 days, I was like, I'm done with them. Why? Because look, Twilio. Talked about it in the morning call. I said, don't chase it. Doesn't mean you can't buy it tomorrow if we're down, but all in all, here was when the trend broke. When did the trend break? The trend broke here, and then this was a nice lower level trade above the 8-day. Gave you a 2-day trade, so I got out of it. Today, didn't do anything. Engulfed it, so now we'll see what happens tomorrow. Getting probably a little choppy. Same thing with NTNX. Pricing and timing, right? Well, here was kind of cool when it broke the lower level and gave you an engulfing bar. When did it give you an engulfing bar? Right here. Then held sideways, and then this was your trade. Nice little day and a half. Now, I don't know. It's bounced already. Things aren't making higher highs, momentum-wise, so that's why I'm like, let's just wait. Same thing for ACIA. Gave you a decent trade, and today kind of came into resistance, and what was it? Sold. So we'll see. These things, love them and leave them. You're allowed to trade them. The Baltic dry shippers were nuts. That's why everyone's like, Red Dog, why aren't you in that action? You know why? Because it could be a widowmaker. What's a widowmaker? A stock that can make you a widow. A widow from the market, meaning your career is over. Why would your career be over? Because look at something like Dries. If you were playing it long, thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to go nuts, I'm going to be rich, okay? Yeah. You had 3 up days, and then it got halted, and then boom. That, my friends, is what I call a widowmaker. If you were thinking, oh, it's going to go to 130, 140 after coming from 3, okay, and you got caught, I never want to see that happen. I'm not going to hold you against it and say, I told you so, because I didn't, but that's gross. Very, very gross. I know that one day I had this overnight. That's why I get rid of it real quick, because once that speculation is over, it happened 2 days here, and then boom, here it tried, and then boom, you have to have very, very tight stops. Very, very careful. GNK probably did the same. Some of you guys made good money short these things, saying it's not going to last, into this topping tail, boom. But again, you got to know what environment you're trading. These high flyers, yes, when momentum's there, you feel safe intraday, but then all of a sudden, boom, something happens like Dries and get halted, and then you're just stuck. Those type of things could make you a lot of money, but they could also lose you a lot of money. That's why you see on my morning, note and in the VTF, I'm in the most liquid names out there. It's hard enough to trade Amazon, Google, Netflix, Apple, Facebook, Twitter, Goldman. the Lehman Brothers, I'm kidding, that was a while ago. Tesla, etc., versus trading these that move, 30, 40, 100, 200% in a day. You're playing with fire. But there's an art to it, and then people make money doing it, so if that's you, that's fine. But for me, I like to stick with my go-to list, and I put some strategies out there if it is what you want to look at. But if not, don't think like you missed anything, because sometimes it's better to miss something. Well, at this point, lots of sectors made new highs, lots of stocks on the move. We're a week plus since the election. It feels like the honeymoon period's over. Lots of back and forth banter now between Bannon and this and that, and now Romney. I tweeted before, I can't believe it. Not that I'm a Trump fan, but I do think we were giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I watched people come in there and bash him, and Romney was like a hired gun coming in there and like insulting him, his family, this and that. The last thing he should do is get a job. Okay, yes, unify everyone, get everyone together. It's great for the country, but there are just some platforms you have to stand on, and if someone slaps you that hard in the face, I don't know. I couldn't look him in the eyes and offer him a job and say, okay, let bygones be bygones. But that's just me. I married an Italian wife, and I'm Jewish. That happens. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.